Man Beat Man is back.
Oh, okay, Jay, boys, got it again. Oh my gosh, the ring got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered. Talk to us, true, talk to us. Oh, look at that, my God.
This is your boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. And today is the last Tuesday of the year, meaning when this video drops, it will drop on the last Wednesday of the year. So my reflection of the year continues. Last week, I gave you guys my top 10 video games of the year. Now I'm going to give you guys my top 10 movies of the year. And then, of course, over the next 2 weeks, in the new year, rather, 2018, I'm going to give you guys my most anticipated video games and movies of 2018, and in that order. So, before we get on with this list, I'm going to warn you guys, spoilers alert. So if you haven't seen any of these movies, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but spoiler alert. So yeah, you've been warned. Now, with that said, let's get on with number 10, Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Now, this joint came out September the 22nd this year, and it's the sequel to the original Kingsman. And obviously, when I first saw this movie was much higher on the list, but then the likes of Thor Ragnarok came out, and Star Wars came out, and Jumanji came out. So a few more movies came out, and I was like, I gotta drop this one, you know. And not to mention the first one rather, was better than this one. But again, this was still a good movie. It was still a good movie. The thing that I didn't like was how one of their allies was the last enemy that they faced, that they squared off against. You know, I didn't like that part. And, you know, his reasoning for going against them, rather. I mean, no, well, I'll take that back. His reasoning for going against them was honorable to some degree. But, I don't know, I just didn't like it. You know, he was better off just siding with the enemy, you know, to be honest with you. But, and then, you know, there's the scenario where, I forgot his name, the dude, because originally, he was working with them, and then he got shot by one of the two heroes because he was like, oh, he's a spy. What he did at the end doesn't necessarily confirm that he was a spy, like he was working with the enemy. It was like he was working for himself, but going against what the Kingsman's main goal was, which was basically to save the world and save the affected. So, it was a few loose ends, but it was still overall, it was still a good movie. It's still a great movie. Again, the first one better than this one. All right, moving on. Number 9, Thor Ragnarok. How you pronounce this? Ragnarok. The new Thor movie. Yeah, there we go. We're going to go with that. But anywho, so I saw this one. This one was pretty good. This one's pretty good. And I'm still a little bit confused. Even though they explained it to some detail, I'm still confused as far as how in the world did Hulk ended up in outer space. You know, that's my only thing. How did he end up in outer space? You know, that's my only concern with that. And I like the fact that Thor's home planet was destroyed, basically. So I like that as well. Now, even though he got all the citizens out of that planet safely, but still, his home planet was destroyed. I didn't like that either. But, you know, it is what it is. But outside of that, it was a good movie. Another thing I didn't like was, 1, Thor lost the hammer. And 2, he lost an eye. And 3, without the hammer, he can't fly no more. So that kind of diminishes his strength. Well, obviously, not the loss of an eye. It just makes him look weird. But the loss of his hammer, that really messed up his power. Although he did get more control over lightning, things of that nature. But imagine he would have had that lightning power with the hammer. That would be dope, man. So I was hoping he'll get a new hammer by the end of this movie, but obviously that's not the case. And hopefully in the new Avengers movie, he'll get a new hammer or something. But yeah, this was a pretty good movie. You know, I recommend you go see this one. Number 8, the Lego Batman movie. Now, this one, I will admit, this will surprise me. It was really funny, and there was a good message behind it because, you know, this movie, Batman, he used to being alone. He didn't want no partners or anything like that. So even though he had the likes of and a quote-unquote adopted son play Robin, and then the new commissioner, who if memory serves me correctly, I think it was Barbara Gordon. She ended up being Batgirl, And then I believe Alfred was another version of Batman. So basically the Bat family was created. But he didn't want that because he was afraid that he was going to lose them. And, you know, his emotions were shown here. So that's why I like this movie. The movie was pretty funny as well. And not much wrong with this movie, except for the fact he was getting all mushy with the main villain. Was he the main villain? No, he was getting mushy with the Joker, rather. But, you know, it was weird. That part was weird. But again, there's not much wrong with this movie. But the other movies I'm about to name off were pretty much better. All right, moving on. Number 7, Fate of the Furious. Oh, man. Now, this one was really good. Unfortunately, I kind of missed the first few minutes of this one, but I resaw it to some degree. And this one was very interesting because Vin Diesel character had to go against the whole team. Now, the reason why there was not a lot of... Let me see. What's the term I want here? There was not a lot of notice given as far as his reason prior to this movie. Because you would think that something like that would have been mentioned in the last movie. Or, no, in the last few movies. Because here's what happened. The reason why he turned against his old team was because he was a father. He was a father of a baby. And it wasn't his current girlfriend's baby. It was the blonde chick who was a cop who was working with The Rock. And then she stopped being a cop and worked with Vin Diesel's character, whatever. And they were going out because at that point, his original girlfriend, everybody thought she died. So he tried to move on and he hooked up with that one chick. And they ended up having a baby together. And I'm like, wait, what? When did this happen? So, and it was messed up that she got shot too. Like, that was messed up. But the whole baby thing, I'm like, where did it, like, how, when did this took place? Like, when did this took place? Because he hooked up with his original girlfriend, not the last movie. If memory serves correctly, it was the movie before last. And I'm like, so it's between that point and part 5, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I lost the timeline, but there needs to be more clarity as far as when this baby was born. You know, so that's the thing. That's the messed up thing. And actually, matter of fact, if memory serves correctly in regards to this movie, he was unaware that he was a father. Like, the main villain told him, hey, you're the father of this child, and this is your mom right here. And that was kind of messed up. I'm like, you mean to tell me he been through all these adventures since then, and he wasn't told? Like, that was kind of messed up. But, again, it was still a good movie. And here's another thing I didn't like about this movie. It was, I forgot his name. It was the main villain turned ally. Like, so hold up. If you go back to Tokyo Drift and how, I forgot, the Asian dude, he died, right? But in part 4 or 5, I forgot which one, or maybe even 6, it was revealed that this dude, the villain to the ally, was the one that killed him. And then, because Vin Diesel character in his gang killed his brother. And now all of a sudden in this movie, they cool? Like, what? Like, those two was at each other's throats. He was at it with The Rock. And now all of a sudden they all cool? I'm like, oh man, I couldn't. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. Like, for all of that bloodshed, all that violence to take place between all of them, and then at the end of this movie, they cool. Like, it's weird. It's I don't know. It's kind of like unrealistic, really. All right, but again, this was still a good movie. I like to see how him and somebody else too. No, his brother didn't die. His brother got arrested. I'm sorry, but still though. And actually, I think the two of them worked together at the end to save the baby. That was a cool scene right there, I will admit. All right, moving on. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So this one was another good movie, but I like part 1. I like Volume 1 rather. We can't call it part 1, but Volume 1. I like Volume 1 better because here Star-Lord get these powers, and I'm like, dog, he's basically an immortal. But the thing is, if I remember searching correctly, because it's been a little minute. This joint came out May. These powers were only good on that one planet, if memory serves me correctly. I'm like, man, he could have had the training. He could have used these powers anywhere. He would have been a beast. He probably could have taken on Thanos by himself. But, you know, that's a bit of a letdown right there. I mean, the thing is, there was just a lot going on because you got the two sisters, the two daughters of Thanos. They were going at it with each other to some degree. And then you got Star-Lord finding his father, you know, there was just a lot going, and then another group of hunting start the Guardians. You know, there was a lot going on. It was a little bit too much going on for my taste, and most of it was resolved at the end. Obviously, the two sister thing, like they ain't beefing anymore, but they're not exactly together. Remember, so correct. I think the younger sister went off on her own because she wanted to kill Thanos. Obviously, one of the Guardians wanted to kill Thanos. And of course, the other sister, who is a member of the Guardians, she want to kill Thanos. So a lot of people in that group want to kill Thanos, and they may get the opportunity in the next Avengers movie, rather. But a lot was going on here, and almost all of it was resolved, rather. So, but there's still some questions like the shy chick that they picked up, the alien. I'm like, what role will she play in the upcoming movies? You know, I really want to see that one. All right, we are now in our top 5. So here we go. Number 5, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So here we are with episode 8, and obviously this one was recent, so I mostly remember this movie. This movie was really good. There were just 2 things wrong with this movie, and actually, technically, I'm gonna say 3. There was 3 things wrong with this movie. The first movie, I forgot what his character name is. I think it's Finn, the black dude. His whole adventure was a waste of time. I crap you not. His whole adventure was a waste of time because let me try to explain this to you to the best of my knowledge. The rebellion, or the resistance rather, were being chased by the new quote unquote republic or whatever. I forgot what the new I forgot what they call the Dark Order. No, the First Order. That's what they call it. They're being chased and hunted down by the First Order. So within the rebellion, Finn and this other dude and this short, chubby Asian chick, they came up with a plan to try and hack into the First Order's main ship because they got a tracking device that could track down the rebellion. And so Finn and this Asian chick had to go to another planet to try and find a professional hacker. Instead, they find a Khan who can hack, so they bring him onto the main ship. They hacked the main ship but got caught in the process. And it turns out that they didn't need to do any of that because the chick who became in charge of the rebellion after Princess Leia got put in a coma, whatever, she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Now, why she didn't share that with her top pilot, that one dude, is beyond me. Leaving us in the dark is beyond me. But she knew what she was. I'm thinking she was a traitor. But no, that was not the case. She knew exactly what she was doing. And I was like, so you mean to tell me that Finn's adventure was a complete waste of time? That's what they said. Like, he shouldn't have left. Like, it was a complete waste of time. It really was. So when he squared off against this chick, this gold stormtrooper, who I thought was the main character from Battlefront 2 game, you know, because that game got a storyline now, and it's about the First Order. There's one chick in the First Order. I'm thinking that's her right there. And that battle was a waste of time because there's no backstory to her, and apparently she died, and apparently she and Finn know each other. I'm like, how? How? Can we get a backstory on this chick? Why is this chick so special? Why is this chick in gold? Like, what is up with this chick? So, that, again, Finn's whole adventure was really a waste of time because, again, if they would have been told about the plans from Layla's replacement, rather, Finn wouldn't have left. Instead, he would have left to try and find Rey. Speaking of Rey, I was hoping that Skywalker would train her, but that's not what happened. Instead, he tried to make sure that no more Jedis took place. Now, the reason for that, yeah, is understandable, but I really was hoping that he would train her. I kind of did. I kind of hoping that he would train her. He was training her for a little bit, but he was training her to give up being a Jedi, I think, instead of embracing the position of a Jedi. So there was some downfalls with the movie, but overall it was completely amazing. The battle scene between Luke and his nephew was dope as heck. I really liked that scene right there. It was messed up that Luke had to fade away and he didn't die. He just gone. Like, he just gone. But I didn't, that's another thing I didn't like. But it is what it is. This is a really good movie, man. Number 4, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. This movie surprised me, man. In fact, this one and number 3 surprised me a lot. I knew this one was going to be good, but I didn't think it would be that good. What's his name? Jack Black, I think that's his name. His character had me rolling throughout the whole movie. Oh my gosh. Because let me set the story for you guys real quick. So there's these 4 high schoolers. Yeah, they're high schoolers. 2 male, 2 female. And they get sucked into a video game. But one of the females who was so obsessed with herself, she's on the phone 24/7, whatever, she ended up as Jack Black's character. So it was funny. So she had the physical attributes of a chubby man. So there's this one scene where she was like, I gotta pee. Can you show me how to pee? So she talking to the football player, the football star, who is tall and muscular, but yet in the game, he's what's his name? He's Kevin Hart, short and skinny. It's hilarious. And the nutty dude, skinny, a nerd, his character in the game is The Rock. So hey, another movie with The Rock in it. Oh, there's one more. But anywho, so they teaching her in this male body how to pee. It's hilarious. And she was like amazed at her character's penis. It was hilarious. And then there's 2 more references in the movie because they meet a 5th player who been in the game for about 20 years. And in the game, apparently she finds him attractive or whatever. And something happened. Either I'm trying to think what happened. Yeah, she saved his life because he was about to die. But she saves his life. And then, as my phone's ringing, and then something happened after that, and all of a sudden she got a boner. And she was like, oh man, this dude is awesome. Something like that was rolling. And then when they beat the game and they was leaving, she was like, later, dude. I was rolling. It was so funny. Like, it was other points. Obviously, Kevin Hart, he did his thing as always. This movie was funny. The chick, what they called her, man killer, man, I forgot what her character name is. She is fine as heck. Ashley Ray is fine as heck too, especially out of the movie. The chick who plays her out of the movie. But anywho, that chick who plays the I forgot, the karate master chick in the game, she is fine as heck. But it was a good movie. It was a good movie, great story. I don't see any faults. I don't see anything negative about that movie. Moving on, number 3, Baywatch. This is another movie that surprised me. I couldn't believe how good of a movie this was. And this joint came out May 26th. But again, it was such an amazing movie. And again, this one features The Rock. And he's all about Baywatch. He trying, basically, even though he's, him and his squad are lifeguards, they act like the freaking police force. And, there's this new businesswoman who shows up, but really she's a drug dealer, and they trying to bust her, and they got new recruits. One of them is a show-up jerk who was in a gold medalist for swimming, like a 2-time gold medalist for swimming. He's like the quote-unquote pretty boy or whatever. They get a chubby dude who always wanted to be a member, and they get another chick. And some of the females in this movie were fine as heck. There's 2 of them that was fine as heck. But the story was really good, and comes to find out that their commanding officer was a part of the drug smuggling gang or whatever. That was unexpected. So I really like this movie. This movie was really good. I cannot that's not the right word. I cannot think of anything negative about this movie. I really can't. This is a really great movie. I probably say this is the biggest surprise of the year as far as movies are concerned. So if you haven't seen Baywatch and Jumanji, you need to see both of them. Number 2, Spider-Man Homecoming. This is the best Marvel movie of the year right here. And really the best superhero movie. No, I take that back. The best superhero movie under Marvel or DC. I'll say that. So you probably know what my number 1 is. But anywho, Spider-Man Homecoming, it was a very good movie. I like the story. Basically, it's not him getting used to his powers because remember, he was in the Captain America movie, the Civil War movie. It was about him trying to grow as a superhero and trying to get in the good grace of Tony Stark. So his character is in this movie, so that's pretty dope. And I really like the story, obviously the ups and downs and things like that. Because remember, Spider-Man, he's still a teenager. So that's pretty cool right there. The end was funny when his Aunt May discovers that he was Spider-Man. I was rolling at that. And the big shocker was, what's her name? Gwen Stacy. Her father was, who was it? The Vulture, yeah, it was the main villain. The Vulture was the main villain. So her father was the Vulture. So I didn't see that coming. That was change of events right there. So, but that was pretty cool right there. You know, again, nothing negative about this movie. At first, I was like, why the Vulture the main villain? And then I saw the movie, and I was like, you know what? I cannot hate on this. I really can't. So, and it's really funny as well, man. So, Spider-Man Homecoming, the best Marvel movie of the year. Now, let me give you guys some honorable mentions from the bottom on up. Logan. I saw Logan, and this was a bloodbath. This was a murder fest right here, man. I can't believe all the blood spilled and the gore and things of that nature that took place in this movie. Even involving kids. It was crazy. And everybody that you know, the original Charles Xavier, the original dude, obviously, dude who played Logan, a number of your favorites die in this one. And it's pretty crazy, man. Justice League. Obviously, this was my most anticipated movie of the year, but this was somewhat of a letdown, man. You know, I didn't like the way how Superman was revived. You know, the main villain was really a follower of Darkseid, really. And I don't know, I just had more hope than this for that Justice League movie. Now, y'all may be shocked with this one. My Little Pony, the movie. Yes, I actually saw that movie. And it was good. Like, I was laughing because, like, if you don't follow the series, then you probably won't get some of these jokes, and that's a problem right there. But I find it pretty funny. So, but again, the story was okay. Not a lot of character development. That's really the main thing wrong with this one. Not a lot of character development involving the main villains. There was two of them, obviously. What's his name? Stormwind, who looked like the Lynch King of World of Warcraft to some degree. And his main follower, who was this unicorn pony or whatever, who had her horn snapped in half or whatever. And not a lot of cameo appearances from the typical characters. You know, like what's them three little ponies called? The Pony Patrol whatever. You know, Applejack family. You know, what's the name? Pinkie Pie's family. Not a lot of cameo appearances from them. You know, get to hear them speak. So that kind of sucks. Moving on. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was really good, but I felt like it was kind of long. Like, you don't really hear that. No, you do hear that from time to time. But I felt that Wonder Woman was kind of a bit too long for my taste. And the main villain was kind of undershadowed because nobody really believed in the main villain except for Wonder Woman. But when he showed up, nobody saw it. Nobody saw him except for Wonder Woman, who was going against him. And maybe Steve Rogers and his crew, bandits or whatever. But nobody really saw the main villain. So that was pretty weird right there. All Eyes on Me. So this one's on the outside looking in. This one was really a good movie. I really like this one. Obviously, the story involving the beef or the origins of the beef between Tupac and Biggie is different in this movie from Notorious. Because in Notorious, when Tupac got shot in the lobby, Biggie was in that building. He was going downstairs trying to help Tupac, according to that movie. There was no mentioning. I try to think. It's been a minute since I've seen that movie. But I want to say either Biggie was not there or he was there trying to help him out. I forgot which one it was. But I really like this one. In fact, I probably going to reckon say that even though it's kind of hard for me to tell, I need to watch Notorious again. I like All Eyes on Me more than Notorious. All right. So there you go with my honorable mentions, man. Now, the best movie of the year, the best superhero movie of the year, rather, is number 1, Power Rangers. This movie is dope, and there may be a little bit of favoritism in this one. Now, granted, I like Spider-Man is like one of my favorite superheroes, so I can't really say there's a lot of favoritism with my number 1. But Power Rangers, I always love Power Rangers ever since, you know, that show first came out. So for them to come out with this movie, I obviously had to go see it. And it was really, really dope because they really changed the ethnicity around here. Because with the first Power Rangers show, obviously you got the Red Ranger played by a typical Caucasian, although Jason was pretty much badass. You got the Pink Ranger being played by the typical high school chick, even though Kimberly was fine as heck. I will give you that one. The Yellow Ranger was played by an Asian chick, Trini, rest in peace, by the way. The Black Ranger was played by a black dude. You know, Zach the OG from Detroit, what up, though? And the Blue Ranger was played by a nerd. Well, in this case, they flip-flop some of those. The Blue Ranger was a black nerd. The Black Ranger was, I think he was Asian. And then the Yellow Ranger, whoever played the Yellow Ranger, though, she is fine as heck. Like, she was really fine ahead. The chick who played the Pink Ranger, she kind of cute too. But whoever played the Yellow Ranger was fine as heck. I forgot what she was, but I like the casting of these characters. Again, nothing wrong with this movie. You know, there was a few twists and turns within this movie, and I really like all of them, man. The Zords battle was pretty dope as well. I like the cameo appearances from the actual Tommy and actually Kimberly. That was pretty cool as well. And there's a little bit what's the word? A spoiler at the end with the character who will eventually play Tommy Oliver. That's going to be pretty interesting. Meaning there's going to be another Power Ranger movie. I can't wait for that one to drop. So without question, Power Rangers is the best movie of 2017. Y'all know who this is. This is your boy, the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.